Hey, okay. I forgot to put me in the thing. Oops. Okay, thank you. You know what? I hit go live too fast. Thank you everyone for coming on in. Yeah, it's a great Sunday. Um, DJ Club Rules. Thank you for coming on in. How's life? Good, good. I was just thinking, you remind me of my nephew who's a huge Sonic fan. Like all his names in Roblox was like Sonic. And then he likes Mario too. But um so anyway, I was just talking about could be talking about Superman. I know you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, we won't do any spoilers. We'll keep it spoiler free, just a few. Talking broad strokes. The American hero, Johnny Lawrence in Superman. uh, I think the movie was pretty good. It was, I guess, it's what I expected. It's not so much, yeah, it's not so much a Superman movie as it's like a James Gunn movie about Superman, right? I did watch um Critical Drinker's review, and that was kind of like his take. I think he hammers it a little too hard, even though it is somewhat true. It's a James Gunn movie about Superman. Um, but there's some things he does really well, and I'll make a video on it, and we'll get to it, and there'll be some like stuff about Superman specifically, and I think yeah, there's like one thing I actually think James Gunn did maybe better, that just really hadn't been done before, and it's not inherently obvious. Um and it's sort of a filmmaking thing. But like there's something he did that like no Superman movie had ever done. Or at least as well and like as seamless as he did it. And I think that's part of why it's like um successful. I mean, there's a lot obviously going on. Why are all the anti-woke and woke people fighting on the political sense of this movie? Well, here's the thing. And actually, Critical Drinker made this point. Um if you understand like the media, especially what we would often call legacy media, but the new media is just the same, just in different ways. Um it's a good question. People like love drumming up controversy and BS, and so what they do is they ask like deliberately loaded questions so that like no matter how you reply, no matter what you say, like no matter what you say, like they can take it and and they can take it, what do you say, and twist it into some like manufactured controversy. And like that's what happened here. Like, people were asking these like loaded questions. Well, what about this? And what about this? And like, and then like taking James Gunn's answers and twisting it and being like, oh, it's about immigration or whatever. And it's not, but like they're just drumming up all this controversy and like twisting stuff until there's no connection to reality. And so that's a very common thing with media. And it doesn't, and the thing is, like, there's really nothing you can say at all to get out of it, because they ask it and word it in such a way that literally no matter what they say, it's like it'll get like twisted. um and it's just unfortunate. And then and the problem is, what happens is a lot of like low, or in fairness, mid-level like YouTubers, and I'm saying like mid-level in terms of intelligence here, um like they see this clickbaity article or something that's talking about these quotes, but really it's all just twisting it all out of context. But then they run like mad with it and say, see this, and then that's what happens, and then one thing fuels another, and it's just kind of ridiculous. Um, like why? So to really get to the heart of your question, Eric Sonic, why are the anti? It's because like it's like the thing this weekend, right? Like so the thing this weekend is Superman, right? Like it's big, had a really big push and lead up to it. That's the thing this weekend. And so they just the anti woke and woke people are always fighting. And the topic this week was the movie. So I mean, if you want to think of it that way, that's how you can think of it. Hello, watch party. How are you doing? Pretty good, pretty good. Um, ended up. Sometimes I fall back asleep. Because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, and then we wake up early. We wake up early to go to church, and then ended up falling back asleep after, and then sleeping into the afternoon, and it's like, oh my god. But I feel fine, so it's just I feel, especially now that I got more sleep, I'm definitely on the up and up, and looking forward. I gotta I put out some shorts last week and I'll continue this week and we'll get some more videos going too and stuff. I want to get back into the full swing of everything I'm doing. So hopefully by this week. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. He's my man. What a loyal viewer. Hey, watch party, what's up? What it do? Hope you're doing well for yourself. You know it. Last night I went and saw Superman. Can he do it? You know he can. Flies high, getting it in time. Come on, boys. Let's bust another rhyme. Bow, 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 bow. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Loyal, absolutely. The one thing Cobra Kai, the series, didn't have was rap, but that's okay because we have Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Why are we getting another trailer on July 15th on the 9th anniversary of you need to finish that, DJ? The 9th anniversary of ST. I don't know what you're going to have to remind me what's going on July 15th. Oh, Stranger Things. Oh, that's what you're talking about because there's a new trailer coming. I don't think it's the 9th anniversary, unless it's the 9th anniversary of the trailer, but we're getting another trailer. Yes. Yeah, they were talking about something. Do you think Miyagi-Do essentially had no effect on Sakai Takai? First, they win against Cobra Kai, but then Cobra Kai gets back in anyway, and then Robbie gets crippled. Did they win against Cobra Kai? Oh, you mean okay? Okay. I mean you mean the like what was that the quarterfinals or whatever it was, the tag team match, and then Robbie gets crippled. Well, from that point, they didn't have anything to do with it, but they were another competitor. They eliminated other dojos and such, like the Irish dojo, especially, and other things. I mean, I wouldn't say they had no effect on the Sakai Tekai, but they weren't the biggest. I mean, on some level, you can say that about most of the dojos that lose, especially some of the early ones that lose. Well, they had no effect, the London, whatever the London British dojo. You know, it's like, did they have an effect? No, not really. Thoughts on Wreck-It Ralph? You know, I never saw it, but it did look good. I will say, it did look good. Sonic has a cameo. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cameos in that one. Never knew you went to church. That is good. Yes, yes, very traditional. Let me just put it this way: our wedding was like an hour and a half long. Very the religious ceremony is important. T Flex Champ is here. T Flex Champ, training strong. Going to be competing this year, pumping that muscle, hitting the gym. Good job, man. Really good. It's the 9th anniversary of the first season of Stranger Things. Yeah, but the season dropped. Yeah, in like October, right? Somewhere around Halloween, or was it November? It was like late October or November, right, when the first one dropped. But you are correct. Yeah, it's been 9 years. It's a long time, you know. I mean, season 3 came out in 2019. They've just been going slow. October 4th, competition. All right. It's true. All right. Yeah, October 4th. You got time to trade. Almost 4 months still. The more I think about season 6, part 3, the more I feel mixed about it. Fights are fine, but felt convoluted to bring Cobra Kai back again and just get Miyagi-Do out. Is it rewatchable for you? Well, I have rewatched it. So yes. I think I mean, it's just like to bring Cobra Kai back. Well, I feel kind of convoluted. I mean, I think ultimately it was like confronting the reality of the tournament structure, right? So just Miyagi-Do was so far behind in the points, they didn't really have a chance. And after Robbie got taken out, you know, Miyagi-Do had nothing left. So, you know, they really had no chance. There was really no way Sam could win at all. For the dojo, she could theoretically still win for herself, but she didn't have anything to win. You know, it was one thing that, you know, from the beginning of the season, they were like establishing, you know, whether it made sense or not, like what each character was like fighting for, what I could get, you know, and Sam really never had anything specifically. She was just fighting for herself, which is valid. I mean, this is valid. You can fight just because, you know, you've trained and you want to do the best and try to win. But you know, in the broader context with the tournament and everything, I think, you know, she was just like, no. She stepped down. So I mean, I think plus I think the fights are really good, like not just fine, but so, you know, and it ultimately, Azim the Dream, what you need to remember is like the show is getting to where it needed to be. You know, the show's called Cobra Kai. We want Cobra Kai to win the championship. You know, we want Johnny to win it all in the end. Like, so it's like we gotta get there. Sometimes like you just got to get the pieces in place to get to where you want to end up, right? Like I've had that complaint about season 4. I felt like the back half of season 4, and I really like season 4, but like sometimes like they're just putting the pieces in place to get where they wanted to end up. Um, so it's a little bit of that too. Used to like Zendaya like a few months ago, but now I think every single one of her roles can be played by way better actors. Yeah. Yeah, Zendaya is perhaps the most like just manufactured um celebrity star like currently. Um I mean it's just true, like, there's always like, like any role, if we're talking about like a Hollywood movie, like in a major movie, right? Like any role, there's hundreds of potential people, just like potential people, like on like almost a pseudo short list, like established actors, like who've done stuff, who could be in that role, like, you know like there's hundreds, and then if you broaden your search, you could look at, potentially a few thousand people, like for like a major, especially like her role, like we're gonna say young 20ish woman, like, actress, like presumably like pseudo attractive or whatever, like there's like a lot of those people just in LA, right? Like, there's just a lot of people you could look at. um Inevitably, like, some people just keep getting cast, keep showing up, and it's more like, are they really that good or better than everyone, or just like the people at the top, the studio executives or whoever, you know want to just control and put someone out, I mean, it's Zendaya is as much being pushed out there as she's gotten there on her own talent, and, certainly not her looks. In the day was when we would try to attract, they would try to cast, really attractive women, and there's memes going on. Like, you'll find like you can go to LA and you'll find baristas, bartenders, way more attractive than Zendaya. It probably is good or better actors too. So like, why is Zendaya keep getting pushed? Because they want to push her. That's it. I've met bartenders who were like models, actresses who were better than Zendaya. Like, it's not even close. It was the best Cobra Kai show. Tori and Robbie won something, and good ending. Yeah. Yeah, good ending. I agree. Tori did get a win. Mr. Miyagi told a story to Colonel Dugan about once a time there was a bull who was very angry and attacked the village. And one day the bull became good soup. Imagine Miyagi and Sato chasing it in a spinoff. Um, that's actually a good one. I didn't think about that, but definitely something we could put into a spinoff. Do you see Daniel LaRusso as Superman and Johnny Lawrence as Batman? Um, well, okay, so if we're gonna like compare the characters directly to the superheroes or DC superheroes, yeah, I would say Daniel LaRusso is more of an echo or mirror image of Superman, and Johnny Lawrence is more like the I'm gonna do it my own way Batman. Yeah, Wild Man Behind. That's a good point. I guess I made it just because I was talking like the American hero, um, Johnny Lawrence. Um, for those who don't know, um, I kind of this is actually this whole thing like the American Hero. Um, it's almost a reference back to my very first Cobra Kai video when the season 2 teaser trailer dropped. I just was like talking about like um um that like I something like 80s bad boy Johnny Lawrence, speaks for America or something. It's kind of like that's good. I always called like Johnny was like the real American hero from the 80s. Would you have done something differently for season 6 part 3 or any of the parts? Um I mean, I do think like part 1 kind of started a little slow. It was kind of low stakes. Episode 2, um like if there's anything I think that could have gotten a little bit better or tighter for season 6, I would say that's where I would focus the most. Um, like the stuff in part 3, like I get some of you don't like it, but like it's ultimately it felt as you put it convoluted, but it's ultimately like I said they're trying to get to the ending. You want to get to this ending with Cobra Kai wins, Johnny's on top, back at Cobra Kai, like it's all together. Um, where I feel like maybe the show dragged the most actually was just sort of like the slow or lower stakes stuff at the beginning of part 1. I see we are doing Sundays now. I think so. I think we would be doing Sundays just because um my wife is at work usually. Sometimes she's home Monday, so just I'm trying to maximize time with the wife. You know how it is. You're married. Because of you, I watched all the Squid Game seasons. Not a bad show. Very good. Very good. I'm glad you liked it. It's definitely a show kind of unlike any other show out there. It, which in itself I think is a good thing. I think um definitely like a good show. Um got some more to say about that when we get to it. Terry Silver is Loki, maybe. Do you think the Miyagi spinoff will ignore Karate Kid Legends? Yes. I hope they do, but I am afraid Sony will be angry about this and try everything to cancel the Miyagi show. Why would Sony pay for a Miyagi show and get going only to cancel it? No. I mean, look, studios have made dumb moves many times over the years, but I don't think out of everything that's what's going to happen. Um, they're not going to try and cancel their own show. Not like that anyway. So, I didn't grasp why those who played the game would trust that the game controllers would actually pay out a prize to the game's winners. Um, I guess you have a few points. Like, I mean, part of the show is like the game controllers were on Squid Game, guys. Like they established themselves as very trustworthy, right? So like they establish from the beginning, like when he offers 101 or whatever, and that they're playing the game. I forget what it's called, and then you lose, you get slapped, but if you win, you get 100. Um, and they give the money. They play, always very honest, and they're always trying to be actually honest. They kill the people who lose, but they're always honest about everything. So and I guess it's part of, and to get into it a little bit more, like all the people, like they're all kind of like gamblers or something. So it's like just part of the gamble too. How is the marriage going so far? Oh, very good, very good. You know, the only problem we're now that we're done with the honeymoon and all that, it's kind of like there's like a little bit of like post honeymoon blues. Like, I mean, one of the problems of like having a really nice like honeymoon, we kind of even had a couple like the way it worked for us, um, is like coming back down from that, like it's just like, oh, that's kind of sad. Like now it's just like, here we are, everyday life, back to grind, you know. I mean, you can't stay on your honeymoon forever, that's for sure. I think I even said that before. Um but like there's a yearning that's so good. And actually what I was just telling her even earlier, like when we were driving the day after our wedding, we had an Airbnb. It was like 2 hours or so, 2 hours and 10 minutes away or something. Just like driving there. Like, cause we were at our parents' house with family or something. It's the day after the wedding. And then like, so we leave to drive to this Airbnb, and it's like, there's just so much like fun. Just the drive. You'd think like, oh, a 2 hour drive, that's lame. But you know what? It's actually kind of not. It was like, I just like there's all this potential and fun and relief. The wedding's done, all the work, all the stress is done, and now you got like this fun thing. Like there's a lot of fun, and now all that's done, and now you're back, and it's like there's work and do this and do that, and responsibilities and stuff, and it's like that brings you down. It like depression is like coming back to normal after a high. Like after you're like a high, it felt great, and now you're like coming back down to normal. And but that's where you got to live your life, at that normal. I'm seeing some people say Zendaya is helped by Tom Holland's partner. Maybe it's the reverse. I don't necessarily. I don't think that's precisely it. No. Kree says Loki and Terry Silver as Thanos. Ooh, Thanos. I don't know if Terry Silver's Thanos. Thanos, well, like in the sense that he has an idea of what's best for everyone. But then like Kreese could be like that too, because they were both sort of like that with Cobra Kai. Johnny Kreese's karate. Johnny is the most effective form of karate, more so than Miyagi-Do teachings of karate. Have you played any of those games as a child? I had not heard most of them. Referring to the Squid Game games, the ones we have in America, um, jump rope, hopscotch, hide and seek, right? Like, a lot of the others, a lot of them are like Korean games or something. No. Although my nephew now plays all of them. I like Tom Holland though. He's a better actor and people give him credit. Yeah. I like Tom Holland too. Robin Lynn is here. Thank you for coming on in, Robin Lynn. Karate Kid Daniel LaRusso only won since the referee allowed Daniel to win an illegal kick. Which only be allowed in the street fights like the newest film and not an actual tournament. So that's one of the many reasons I don't like Daniel LaRusso. Okay. A thunderstorm. I had storms, but they're no more. Well, I glad you're inside and dry and you're gonna come to the watch party, Robin Lynn. Wish you the best. Scared of marriage, people may change and anything could go wrong. Protect my I'm not sure your last word. If you mean asset or protect your ass, I don't know. Well, that's true. Of course, people change. But um, the idea is, if you're a married couple, you should be changing together. People should change. We'll see. We'll see. Anything could go wrong. I mean, yeah, of course, anything could go wrong if you're single too. Um, the one on advantage is, if something goes wrong, you have a spouse or someone there to be the first person to help you, right? And you can be their first person to help them. So that's part of what it is. I really hope Tori doesn't dump Robbie for being short. Especially because I think she's slightly taller than him. Yeah, I think she may be. Luckily for Robbie, he's packing a really good 6-pack. I think Robbie's got it where it counts. You know what I mean? T-Flex champ, yes. Cobra Kai show was more interesting than Karate Kid movies because the writers made the series like One Piece. They gave everyone a good backstory to root for. Yeah, didn't see One Piece, but I know what you mean. Karate Kid Legends is back to the same formula, making kid as the bad guy. Don't understand the kids will never be villains. It's only the teachers. Yeah, a little bit. I have my Karate Kid Legends movie. It was kind of a mess, unfortunately. Um, I think there was the potential there. I think they could have made a better movie. Um, Stop focusing on the dad, focus on the girl more, and lean into that. But they didn't go that way. Is being married is like having a roommate for life. Well, I mean, in a literal sense, yes, you do have a roommate. My life with roommates. I've pretty much always had a roommate, but yeah, that is true. Having a roommate for life. It's not like it. It's literally true. Found Squid Games harder to binge than Cobra Kai. Not sure if that was your experience as well. Well, yeah, Squid Game. First off, it's a longer show. The episodes are running longer, and there's just more going on. One of the bingeable parts of Cobra Kai is, since the episodes are give or take around a half hour. Boy, does that it makes and a lot of times one flows into the other. Squid Game just being longer, being more like emotional and everything, like, yeah, it's harder. I didn't binge it myself. Your old friend and I lost in a game of Red Rover to a girl in elementary school. I never played Red Rover. Um it always scared me because it seemed like people were always getting hurt. And they'd be like, let's play. And it's like, but people always get hurt. They're like, no, we won't get hurt. And then they would get hurt. I don't know. Did you like Superman? Yes. Yeah, I thought it was good. I'm gonna try to get a video on it. I think, like I said, um, it's definitely more like not so much a Superman movie as it's a James Gunn movie about Superman. It's a James Gunn movie about Superman. Um, so it works as a James Gunn movie about Superman. Critical Drinker hammered that point a lot. And I mean, and I think he's right. Maybe a little bit too much. There's a few things I think he does well, James Gunn, in the movie. And I think like at least one thing, I think like maybe he did better than any Superman movie he's ever done. Um, in terms of like structure and stuff. I'll try to address that in my video. Um, if you think it is, make a guess. Anyone who's seen it, like, what do you think is like something this particular Superman did better as a movie, as like a Superman movie than any other Superman movie? Um, because there's something I think he did really well, and it's like a movie thing about Superman. I'll bring it up when I make a video. When do you expect Legends to exit theaters? It's probably almost off. What does it mean that Legends is now digital? Maybe that's a dumb question. Yeah, I think it's mostly out of the theaters now. Maybe a couple straddlers, but I think Karate Kid Legends has moved to digital. The first half was good, but then when Han and Daniel basically glorified cameo, correct, it went all over the place. Somewhat, yeah. Red Rover, send watch party on over. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just see it's like every time someone gets hurt in that game, like I was just like, nope. Why would I play that? I watched them play. Cobra Kai show is the one who brought the Karate Kid universe back from the dead, correct? It revived it, made it better. Problem with Karate Kid Legends, they think making some story will be successful. True. True. I hear that Superman movie is like the anime, how it was played. I don't know the anime, so I can't comment towards that. But potentially, yeah, I don't know. With regards to my comment earlier, the latest Sonic game, the Sonic X Shadow Generations, came out, and all those disingenuous, low IQ users kept calling the game woke over a hyper minuscule shit. Oh, true. Okay. I guess I thought you were talking about Superman. I must have misunderstood. But yeah, I mean, people. I mean, like, it's like it probably was woke, but it probably also was minuscule. So it's like, well, what are you gonna do? It's kind of the way it is. Cobra Kai did many new ideas and only did season one like Karate Kid 1984, but changed a lot of things and didn't make Robbie a villain. They put two good characters to root for in the trilogy. Yes. Yes, that was obviously always the intention. From the beginning. So they definitely did that. I'm glancing over at the box office for just real quick. Yeah, 217. Like, this is good, but it's not like mind blowing. It's not like, oh my god, that's the most ever, right? But like, I don't know, like every theater, like almost all the theaters, all the screens were sold out. The one I went to, but like part of that is like they have a lot fewer seats now because they made the seats bigger and more comfortable. So like the theaters only hold like a third as many people as they used to. Have to see how it looks, how it turns out. Um, um, if they did Connor a hero like Cobra Kai for Robbie, then the movie would be better. It's boring for only to root for the main character. True, but that would be harder to do just in the time frame. And they had too much other shit going on. Is the new Superman movie the only Superman movie in its universe? Would I need to watch any of the movies before it? No. You don't need to watch anything else. It is the new Superman movie in its universe. It is relaunching the DC universe and doing it in James Gunn. This is now the James Gunn DC universe, if you want to call it that. The James Gunn DC universe. So this is the new movie. agree on the verdict that it's a James Gunn movie about Superman. Yeah, give it 9 out of 10. The reason it's not full 10 is because it's very evident that it's a James Gunn movie to the point I was taken on at times. Yeah, I mean, more or less, I agree. Um, I don't know. Like, I get what James Gunn's doing. He's setting it up. He's starting it off. We're already in a multiverse, right? Like, we're already in the, or not the multiverse, but like the metahumans. Like, there's already heroes, and this is like a common thing in this world to somewhat extent. Like Superman fighting someone, or the Justice Gang, them fighting people is almost just like an everyday occurrence that like the normal people just kind of go on about their day. Um, I don't know if I like that. It is. I get why he does that. It just sort of makes it where you are. That it's not like rediscovering things, but we don't get any origin stories, and that's kind of a shame. Yeah. Robbie in season 4 versus Quan in season 6. Ooh. Um, are those two agreed to be the hottest males in the show? Well, always depends on who you ask. Um, could be. Some people would say Johnny is one of the hottest. Others would say, Daniel. Um, some girls like Miguel. Uh, you know, but definitely they're pretty up there. Axel egged them on, tall buff guy. How many Superman movies are there? I lost count. It depends on how you want to count. There were 4 with Christopher Reeve. Then we got Superman Returns. A little underrated, unfortunately, with what? Christopher Rouse? That was his name. Um, and then we got like the Snyderverse, but it only had like one full Superman movie, Man of Steel. We didn't get like a direct sequel to that. We got Batman and Superman, Batman versus Superman. Um, so it depends on how you want to count it. Now we have this one. Melissa's here. Bonsai tree. Sorry, I'm late. Miguel clears them all because he's the son of the Giga Chat. It's true. It's true. It's true. I made a short on that. Is Miguel's father the Giga Chad? Yep. Wish he used Henry Cavill. Yeah, everyone loved Henry Cavill, but James Gunn was starting over, so there you go. Haven't seen the new Superman. Plan to next weekend. Sounds good. I'll probably get a video out soon. Johnny Age like fine wine. Axel is hot. Robbie as well. Well, there you go. Robin Lynn is laying it out. Hottest guys. Johnny, Axel, Robbie. Do you think we'll see more Axel in the future? Well, it depends on what spinoffs come. Anything modern, like it's possible he shows up. It's fucking tragic what happened to Christopher Reeves, and it's still sad. Yeah, it really is. He was horseback riding, right? It's just like, geez. It's like really dangerous, even though like people do it all the time. Like I know like people go out all the time, but then sometimes it's not good. T-Flex Champ will be back. That's fine. Yeah, Christopher Reeves. $217. Logic restored. Sorry, I'm just looking at a few people like posts about the Superman movie. The other people. I don't know most of the other heroes. Like I know Green Lantern, although I don't know this particular Green Lantern. Um, but like Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, fun name. I like that name, but I don't know any of them, so it's like a little weird to me. Dean Cain, oh, there it is the hottest Superman. Prove me wrong, ladies. So interesting, Robin Lynn. Prior to last night, the only Superman my wife had ever watched, never any of the movies, she had only ever watched Lois and Clark with Dean Cain. And she was like, she liked Dean Cain. So there you go. My wife agrees with you. um Why do you think that Sam didn't say anything about Wolf abusing Axel, in your opinion? It wasn't her place. Who's she going to talk to? Plus, she's in the middle of a world tournament. You can't like worry about um sensei student relationships of other dojos. Plus, she may have not seen the whole thing. Maybe she doesn't necessarily trust herself. Does she know the whole story? Well, no. Is there any other Sakai Sakai competitors outside the 4 championship dojos you would want to know more about? So what? Cobra Kai, Iron Dragons, Miyagi Do, and the Fuego, the Spanish one. The Russian one could be a little interesting. Maybe the Irish one. I don't know. Superman 1 and 2 will always be your favorite. But you like the new actor. He did a good job as Soup, so I mixed on the movie. Had good and bad. Yeah, I more or less believed him as Superman. He didn't, not quite up to Reeves or maybe even Henry Cavill, but yeah. But I do think he fit the role well, so it was pretty good. If Miguel had a son with Sam, do you think he will name his son Hector? Because even though Hector left Miguel and Carmen, still Miguel's a good guy. I'm sure he will. So the character, the person here, Miguel's father, thinks Miguel should name him after his son after his father, who is a very bad man. Even though Hector left Miguel and Carmen. No, I don't think Miguel would name his son Hector. Maybe Johnny. Why not Johnny? People have wanted Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern for the longest time. They made him the other one, though. Yeah. Interesting. Good to know. Spanish Dojo's fourth. Yeah, Fuego. What did you think of the Chosen and Kim romances? Oh, it was a bit of a surprise. Chosen and Kim, but a lot of fun. They had the a little beach rumble there, beach rolling around on the beach. What is this? Ooh. I need to, Chosen and Kim 2 times. What do you think? So yeah, it put them in a happy ending, and another combining of the dojos where Chosen shows up in Korea at now Master Kim's dojos, Kim Da-eun, formerly Kim Sun Young dojo, and to maybe combine the dojos in Korea too. So we're getting combined dojos in multiple places. Plans to do a video Cobra Kai seasons ranking now that time has passed. Yeah, I think I'll get something like that. Superman 3 was filmed where I live. That's in Vancouver. Um, I had family that almost was going to move out there, but they said no, Vancouver's too expensive. T Flex is back. Hope your weekend is going well. Seems very likely the Superman original will have multiple sequels. Yeah, we'll see what James Gunn has in mind. Obviously, this is very much now the James Gunn DC universe. So I know like James Gunn had a whole phase 1 planned out, Gods and Monsters, right? We even got this in the movie. It's right at the beginning they talk about Gods and Monsters. And phase 1 of the James Gunn universe is called Gods and Monsters. So I don't know where a sequel here comes in. Are they going to have one soon? Are they going to do a Batman movie that the Snyderverse never did? Robbed us of a Batman movie? Like, ugh. Boy, did the Snyderverse make mistakes. Like, how do you just not? You got Man of Steel, do a Batman movie, and then put them together. I'll never understand why they went straight to Batman versus Superman. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's just like, I don't know, man. It makes you think that things that seem obvious to you apparently aren't obvious at all. I suffer with that problem a lot. Um, Chosen and Kim's the best match. Yeah. I don't think Miguel will name his son Johnny because I think it's better for Robbie to name his son Johnny. Um, Miguel's best option is Daniel or Hector, or maybe both. If he had two and one girl named Carmen, maybe. Johnny did abandon Robbie for years. Now they made up, but I don't know if Robbie will name his son Johnny. We'll see. I mean, although Miguel and Sam could name a son Daniel, obviously after the kid's grandfather. So we'll see. Kreese should have just ate Kim. Calgary. Oh, not now. It's summer. Okay. She's in Calgary. I take it back. I think the reason why the DCEU failed was because they tried copying Marvel too heavily. Every movie just became focused on connecting each other without focusing on being a good story. Well, that's part of it. It was just rushed, kind of dark, just not pulled off very well. Yeah, it just wasn't done very well. The problem is they were moving too fast because the executives wanted a big bonus, so wanted to get to the big blockbusters really fast. So that's what I would say the problem was it's done. T Flex champ don't like the cold weather. I would love to see the next Cobra Kai series not take place in the Valley. Are you tired of the Valley? Not necessarily. I mean, the Valley is like the lifeblood of LA, That's where it's at, man. You go to the Valley. Like you don't go to Westwood. Santa Monica, it's just beach, shit, promenade, beach, Santa Monica, rich. Get up to Malibu, then it's like you're really rich. West Hollywood, then it's all like like you're now you're dealing with the like oof, Do I really want to be around with these people? There's some cool people in West Hollywood, but like, yeah, um, Pasadena is kind of like the established rich. It's like you gotta go to the valley, man. It's like it's in the valley. Karate only makes sense in the valley. But if you're talking outside of just LA or California, um, I don't know. Um, let's see where are we at. Bella. I wish they hadn't added so many characters in the Superman movie. It focused more on building up Soups and Clark. Felt like we jumped right in this. Yes, Bella, I agree. That's the one point I have. Like it wasn't just the Superman movie, it was firmly establishing the universe they're gonna have. We got metahumans, we got, the Green Lantern is out there with the society of whatever the heck they are. I don't even know if that's public. I don't understand, like, because it's like they're like police or something, whatever the Green Lanterns are, whatever the heck that story is of like they're the only ones I know. And Hawker, I don't know. Mr. Terrific, I don't know anything about. Um, so it wasn't an origin story of anything, though it dealt with stuff like Superman's parents. Like it was more like um just straight up like let's dive right in. And so they're not finding each other because they already know each other, so to speak. All the superhero pipes, the metahumans and such. Um and I agree because I don't know who they are. Mr. Kreese ate Kim. Can't get over ate Kim. Yeah, tasty. If you could take your pick, what spinoff you'd like to see first? Not prequel, but a spinoff. Why is a prequel not a spinoff? I don't know what you mean. Um, I mean like a one season one shot, 1 or 2 seasons on like Sensei Wolf and the Iron Dragons and maybe Zara. That's kind of my current mood. Would love New York as Daniel's past could be revisited in some form. New York, New Jersey, maybe. Hmm. Robin Lynn is convincing T Flex Champ to come to Canada. It's not cold at all, she says. She lies. um, Bonsai. How about you? Okay. Everyone's having fun talking to each other. Highest ranking Superman movies after adjusting for inflation. Superman, the original, 1.4 billion. Man of Steel, 920 million. Superman 2, 762. Superman Returns, 622. I always thought Superman Returns was better than it got credit for. But they did a few things poorly, and that's what ultimately hurt it. Do you think if Hawk had a son, do you think he'll have a Hawk flip the script to a bad boy from the start? With an eye patch and wallet. It depends on how he raises his son. You don't know. You can't predict that far out. Johnny's life immediately after the All Valley series seems to move quickly through Johnny's intervening. Yes, there's very little in the intervening years, but I think like you can figure it out. Like I don't think they would do a prequel of that because I think even though it kind of was glossed over, but it was like glossed over because um you can figure it out. Nice clap of thunder. Definitely see the new Superman. I think you may like it, T-Flex Champ. I think you may like it. There's a bunch of like other heroes and stuff going on, but I think you would like it, T-Flex Champ. So let me know when you see it, what you think of it. And I'll have a video out hopefully this week. After the High War Down season 6 dropped in my rankings, but the last 3 episodes are your still 3 favorite. Especially 1 or 13 and 14. Yeah. Definitely the last 3 are really, really good. Hawk should have his son Mohawk, but with dreadlocks. T-Flex Champ has been pushing this. The Mohawk with dreads. He's been pushing it, guys, just for a while, just so everyone knows. This is T-Flex Champ's thing. Prequels are stories that thank you. I mean, a spinoff is usually just another show that's originating from a source show, but yeah. Do you think they would make a sequel to Legends, perhaps involving Robbie competing in the 5 boroughs? I don't know if it made enough money. It looks like maybe it'll be slightly profitable, but it's not like so wildly profitable that's like, all right, let's do it. So I don't know how much interest there is. Like I don't know if it made enough money that basically people specifically like Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio would want to come back. It's like, well, let's do it again, you know. Like if it was like a really big hit, maybe, but not this one. Still have the Netflix Sony issue, yeah. All right. It's a life thing, a culture thing. Maybe. 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 Maybe we can find an AI to do it. I hate how we didn't learn Miguel's dream to get in college. Or even Sam and both Hawk Dimitri, the only ones know their future is Robbie and Tori. Like, what if Miguel wants to be a lawyer? Well, he's young. Did Sony make Ralph wear a wig in Legends? Not that I'm aware of. I am not aware of any wig. Watch party. Is there anything in part 3 that you wished that they did, or you would change? If so, what? Yeah, well, this was asked earlier, actually, and like I feel like it started kind of slow and with low stakes. Part 3. And it occurred to me maybe the way to make a little bit higher stakes early on in part 3 is to bring back Miguel's father, because why wasn't he brought back? Telling you what having dreads is like. There you go. There you go. Getting the dreads. All right. When's the wife coming home? I'm a married man. Yeah. Will you be off? What stories, arcs, or characters got dropped in Cobra Kai? I can name a few. What do you mean? Stuff they talked about that just didn't finish up on? Julie Pierce got dropped. She didn't exist at all. Hector Salazar kind of like came and left fast. Do you think Quan was nerfed? Should he have been stronger? He was strong enough. I don't know what else to say. Um, it's kind of like hard, to get stuff right, but he was pretty cool. And Brandon H. Lee, definitely hell of a performer. Peyton's story arc pretty much saved part one. Yeah. Do you think Quan should have been the final team threat in the tournament instead of Axel? Um, like he could have, but like the story needed him to die, so it kind of went that way. He kind of killed himself. Having Quan as the final threat might have been cool, but it didn't work that way, and Axel was pretty good. Characters like Brandon, Tori's brother. I don't. I mean, I don't even think he was really ever there. I mean, he was like mentioned. Her aunt to take custody away. Yeah, that kind of came up and then went away. You could just figure her aunt was too dumb to actually try and do it. Mike Barnes got dropped. Yeah. How do you feel they handled Sam's character in season 6 overall? Um, I think it was actually really good. Um, the connection with Tori in episode 3 and then continuing on and then especially in part 3 and then she decides not to, like, I think like that's about as good of a story arc and conclusion for her character as you could have gotten. And she heads off to Okinawa and she's got Miguel with her. It's a happy ending, more or less. What if Silver manipulated Quan to become dragons? He didn't need Quan. I mean, I don't know. After Axel dies in the brawl, nah. Because Quan wouldn't leave Cobra Kai. Like, it's just like he's too loyal. Thoughts on Avatar? Oh, it's a good movie. Um like James Cameron is obviously a great director. Um, people talk about rightly so, it doesn't have much of a cultural impact. Um which is weird for like such a successful movie, but like it just did really good. It did have a cultural impact in that it ushered in 3D, almost too much 3D. 3D got ridiculous. But um I don't know, like it's just not like, is it going to stand like the test of time? Like James Cameron wants, he's got another one coming out this year, right? The third one. And then he's got like two more planned or something. He's got like this whole freaking massive story like planned out about this, and it's like fine, like, and they're good movies. Like James Cameron is a good filmmaker, right? Like he's really good at what he does. In fact, to the point where I think a lot of other people, a lot of other filmmakers take the wrong lessons from him, but that's a whole nother story. Um, but like it's just like, are you like hanging on, oh, what's gonna happen next? Does anyone make a movie or like a YouTube video about like theories about the Avatar and what's gonna happen next on Pandora and shit? Like it's just, you don't really care. Like it's like you see the movie and it's like really good, but then it kind of like leaves you. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I think they're too long. I mean, it's part of it, but like I don't know. Like no one's curious about. No one's making theories about what this new Avatar movie is going to be about. Least of all me, as a guy who does that. Would have been cool to see Tori's dad when her aunt set it up. Might have, but it's not required. Are you interested in a spinoff about Chosen and his history with Sato? Um, I don't know about a whole spinoff about that, but it could come up somewhere else. Yeah. Do you notice how Robbie tried to get Kenny and Miyagi Do, and they never spoke to him for the rest of the show? Um, maybe I didn't, but you're probably right. But there was a lot going on. It's only a 30-minute show, guys. Maybe one of the only whose favorite Karate Kid movie is Karate Kid 2. Peter from Cobra Kai Companion. It's his favorite. There's definitely people who love Karate Kid 2. Peter being the first one to mention. Definitely good sequel. Robbie versus Quan was too one-sided. Would have been cool if it was a bit more competitive. But it was good. In Cobra Kai TV show, what are your favorite characters minus Daniel? Oof. Come on, that's a tough one, Caleb. Hawk, Johnny, Miguel, Terry Silver, Kreese. They're so good. One Axel story to be the further future, because I want this story like Cobra Kai. Axel taking the role of Johnny Train. Maybe. What do you think of Ken being the one to kill her grandfather? Well, she had to be the one because most of those other people weren't there. Kreese was there, but I don't think Kreese would do it. Kreese was instead just gonna leave. But like for Kim, it was like her family's dojo. So on some level, she had to do it to move on. They had too many characters. Some got sidelined. Their scenes were cut. Well, yeah. T-Flex Champ likes Karate Kid too. You're right, a Karate Kid Legends. I really thought you'd be proven wrong. Seriously? Seriously? You thought Watch Party would be proven wrong? Where have you been? Where have you been, man? Poor Dallas didn't give a one line in third half. Well, he had lines, but they got cut. Sometimes in editing, stuff gets cut. And it's just what happens, you know? The show is the only thing it can be, you know? Like Mike Barnes and Chosen, favorite characters. Yeah. I did not like Master Kim as a character. I feel like Kim Daeun could have had a bigger arc. Maybe she was only in like a season and a half or so. So James Karate Kid Legends is better than James Gunn's Diaper Man. Jackie Chan is cooler than Gunn. Woo! Rough words, man. Rough. How did you know Karate Kid Legends would fumble? The trailers were good, right? Go back to my original live stream when the trailer came out. I think the trailer wasn't as good as some people thought, but also sometimes just knowing how a movie gets started and what's going on around it and behind it, that helps. Like you just know what's going on. Like you know if this movie's going to be good or not. Are you well, no, you never know, but like you really have a good sense of like what's going on, and this particular movie, following it from the beginning, you know, it was clear it was something they didn't have Ralph or Jackie Chan. They rewrote the script to include Ralph and Jackie Chan after they signed them, and then it just goes from there. How would Johnny react to meeting Kim? Who's this? Favorite character amongst his seasons depends on the depends on the season. Later, Anthony for you. Woo. Robin Lydon, like said Anthony. As soon as he lost weight, grew a little bit, got a little fit, He was a looker. He was a looker. Oh man. Did she no? Okay. All right, guys. I think we'll wrap it up. I will get videos this week. Just had some Olive Garden. Breadsticks could have solved all the problems. Yeah. The Garden's breadsticks, man. Solves everything. Know it from Johnny. Do you think Axel and Kwan are the equivalent of Chosen and Mike Barnes? Well, Miguel Robbie are somewhat, yeah. Wish Aisha could have had a last scene. She did, but it was in season 4. Oh, T-Flex Champs got more questions. You can find them on Instagram. Do you have tips on getting a girlfriend? It's hard for me because I'm only 5'8". Okay. Well, you can't change your height, right? I understand. So what you got to do is just do the best for what you can do. Be in good shape. Have good clothes, clothes that fit and reflect your style. Like you don't have to be a certain style. It should be something, for you, like your style, but like you need to have a style that shouldn't be like ridiculous. Not vulgar. Yeah, vulgarity. I was reading something, but it's true. But just something that looks good on you. And then you just gotta have like the sort of confidence. Um, I hope that helps. It's fast, but I hope that helps. Kim Diamond presumably should have gotten feedback prior bidding with silver for a spot. Yeah. Axel's Android 8. Instagram handle Robanal. Yes, Robanal. Yes, which actually used to be her name on YouTube as well. Axel's Ivan Drago. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Videos this week for sure. We'll get back into things. It's looking good. The honeymoon is over, so it's back to work, back to life. Never ends. Thank you all. I will see you at the next watch party. Bye bye.